woke up in the desert, like I've been dropped out of the sky. You got a name? I don't know.
You've played so many, obviously, classic characters before. Whenever you have kind of a new, cool, original character like this, if there are aspects of it that remind you of the old characters, if Dollarhide had been carrying a whip or had a hat similar to Indiana Jones, do you come forward and say, no, we've got to cut that out. I can't have that.
I think that was obvious. In fact, the character in this movie, Dollarhide, was written carrying a whip.
Really?
Yeah. And that was, I didn't have to talk anybody out of it. It was pretty obvious. And it's pretty obvious that you don't want a hat like Indiana Jones. You want to stay in the movie. You want to frame a particular character. And costume is so descriptive of character and a place in society that I think it's very important. And so I give it real thought and importance.
Speaking of costume, I did notice that Daniel's chaps were very tight. They were much more tight than yours were.
Daniel got the chaps, and yes, they were awfully tight. And I'm hoping that I never have to see that again.
I'm gonna need you to come with us. Wouldn't do that if I was you.
Now, I did just talk to Harrison, and he was ragging on you.
I'm really sorry.
He
doesn't have a lot to say, does he?
Have you seen his shoes?
Yeah.
His shoes are great today, by the way.
I like it to see them from about 4 miles away.
He was ragging on you and your and the chaps, man.
He was just jealous.
He
saw them and he went, I wanted to wear those. And
he said that after 3 months, he did not want to see those chaps.
Oh, well. I sent them to him.
And he also said that he bought the horse that you rode in the film.
He did. I mean, look, I promise you, after that movie, if I'd owned a scrap of land that I could have put one on, I would have bought it myself. But it's he was in there. I think he bought 2 horses off the movie because he's got somewhere to stick them. But I don't think I could have. Either in London or New York, I don't think they would have gone down to too.
Yeah, there's not a lot of big stretches of land like this.
Yeah, that's Lonergan, boss.
I want that man. You give him to me now.
I need to know where you came from.
So do I.
So, Mr. Ford, I don't want to brag, but I went horseback riding earlier today, and once I was on the horse, the girls came by and they said I looked very natural on there.
That's their job.
Well, I was going to ask you, whenever you got on the horse for this, what was the reaction? What did people say?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Oh, you look good, Mr. Ford. Looking good. No, I've been riding for a long time and owned horses for a long time, so I'm comfortable with the horses.
Is it true you bought the horse that you rode in the film?
Yeah, the horses that I have, I've owned, one of my horses is 28 years old. We grew up together, and I'm letting him enjoy life now. So I needed a riding horse, and I had a wonderful horse in the movie. So I bought my horse, and I bought Daniel's horse too. Because I figure anybody that could put up with Daniel for 3 months.
It says a lot about the horse.
It's got to be a good horse.
You don't remember anything.
One of the cool things with Jake in this movie is that as people are starting to figure him out, he almost gets in more and more trouble because of what people figure out about him.
Yeah.
For you, being an actor, as more and more people are figuring you out and discovering you and you're getting more fame, and is that better for you, or do you like the days whenever, maybe before you were as known as you are?
I miss sometimes that kind of thing, but actually, it also brings a huge amount of positive in my life, and that I have to weigh it up and just sort of, just make sure I don't get kind of down about the loss of privacy. But that's, on the whole, it works out really well.
Mm-hmm. I've had the pleasure of meeting Harrison Ford a few times, and for me, that's one of those moments. I grew up on Indiana Jones and Han Solo. That's kind of one of those moments I feel like I'm going to be bragging to my grandkids
Oh,
about
me too.
meeting him. For you, when you got into this business, who was that first person that you met that you thought, I'm going to be bragging to my grandkids about this?
Well, God, I've had the chance to meet a lot of people that I really have looked up to my whole life, but Harrison was certainly one of them. And Steven Spielberg, who's one of our producers, I have an autograph of Steven Spielberg's that I've had since I was 13, and I have it framed, and it says, Olivia, if you want to be a doctor, look before you leap. If you want to go in show business, leap before you look. Which became confusing after I was playing a doctor. And I was like, should I call him and ask what to do at this
Just clarify.
point? Steven, what would you do? But I think that, you know, that was a real exciting moment for me, and to work for him on his movie was really a thrill. And you feel that this film, Cowboys and Aliens, has a real Spielbergian kind of perspective, as well as Ron Howard and Jon Favreau, and we have the best team in the business.
What the hell were those things?
Why are you asking me?
They've got my son.
My wife. I need that weapon. It's the only thing that counts.
And Harrison has such a great history of stepping in and kind of adjusting his character as he sees, whether it's Empire Strikes Back and saying I know instead of I love you too, or with Raiders it's shooting instead of, you know, doing the guy with the sword.
whip, that's right, or the guy with the gun shooting the other sword,
Did he step in at all and kind of adjust his character in this one?
Of course he did. It's Harrison Ford.
and you just go with it.
If he says, look, we're talking about an action beat, and he's been there, and he's been side by side with Lucas and Spielberg, and you know, the list goes on, and he's been Jack Ryan and Decker and Blade Runner. He's got a certain amount of understanding in his bones of what makes these sequences work. And you know, he came up during the most star-driven aspect of, you know, our cinematic history, where movie stars are what sold movies, and you had to be quality control of your brand. And there's a reason there was a run of amazing Harrison Ford action movies. That was because he was there scrutinizing each moment and making sure that the director was doing his job. And here I got both barrels of that. I got to experience his scrutiny and him to say, okay, why are we doing this? And I'd say, I thought this. Well, this doesn't make sense because if I came out there, I'd still be worried about where she is.
Right.
And I'd say, okay, but maybe it's because of this. And you negotiate. But it's always from a place of excellence, of trying to make it the best version. And I've worked with a lot of actors, and as an actor, and I've seen actors that show up, do their job, nice to get along with, they're talented, they do a great job with their role, and they go home. Harrison's not that guy. Harrison's a guy who wants the movie to succeed, not just his coverage.
Would you rather it be like that? Would you rather him do that?
Yeah, everybody that I work with is like that. I look for it. By the way, you know, Daniel's like that. Different language, different way of communicating, but he is a guy that is not concerned with being in movies that aren't going to be great. Right. At least have a shot of being great. They don't always turn out great, but aim for greatness. And that's what's fun about, you know, you're working on a movie called Cowboys and Aliens. I mean, the concept is just fun and silly. So how do you make it something that's more than what people expect? Deliver on the fun, but also make it something where you're getting more out of the experience than you think you're going to. And that's where people like Daniel and Harrison, by being in the film and by elevating the storytelling, it leads to me to hopefully a happy surprise by people who are buying tickets for this thing.
What about the other people? Are they alive?
They won't be for long. You just have to work together. Who is she?
She's the only one who knows who I am.
You know who you are. You just have to remember.
So I've seen the trailer several times, and I've talked about the trailer with lots of different people and read lots of comments. And out of the whole 2.5-minute trailer, there's 2 seconds in there that everyone seems to be talking about. Do you know, can you imagine which 2 seconds in the trailer it might be?
I think I can. I think I can. It gives you just enough to imagine that there's more.
Exactly. Is that frustrating that that's what a lot of people are talking about, or is that cool? Is that fun?
No, it's an exciting, shocking moment in the movie. It's a great moment, and it's a beautiful shot. You know, the way that they shot everything in this movie is extraordinary. So I love that people are talking about the trailer at all. You know, the fact that people really love when the trailer comes on and they clap and they yell, and it's great. And hey, if my little shot in there is part of that, then I'm proud. You know?
Do you think that if the naked shot were of me in the trailer, that people would still be talking about it?
I think they'd be talking about it more.
Really?
To be honest.
Would you be talking about it?
Absolutely.
They'll come back with more, and there will be no survivors. It's what they did to my people.
I say good men do bad things, bad men do good things. You go get our people back.
This movie did remind me of being a kid, because as a kid I would get my Alien toys, and you get your Cowboys toys, and you get your Star Wars toys, and you just kind of mix them together, and you don't have those dividers in between.
You should have copyrighted it.
I know,
but
but
rich man.
You screwed me
You were
over,
ahead,
man.
you were ahead of your time. I'm so sorry. If I had known.
Do you think that you've got to have that kid still inside of you to be a good director?
I think you have to have that enthusiasm. And I think what was nice about even Harrison Ford or Daniel Craig, and certainly the newer actors like Olivia Wilde, is there's so much excitement just to be on the set working on a film. And Westerns are not films you're normally permitted to do. It just doesn't make a hell of a lot of economic sense. And the fact that we're an alien movie also makes that an easier equation. But the opportunity to actually be in this kind of environment and make that kind of a film is not an opportunity that most actors or filmmakers get. So I think that brought out a lot of our childlike enthusiasm.
So getting to do this, does it ruin any kind of ever future interviews you're going to do, or any kind of future movies? Does it spoil you having this kind of experience?
I think I've been very, very blessed in getting to work with all the people I want to work with, and as a director, really picking the people in front of and behind the camera that I want to collaborate with. And we've had a blast, and we've made movies that we're proud of, So in that sense, I have been spoiled, but it just sets the bar higher, and I gotta hope that when the day comes that I can't have as fulfilling of experiences I'm having now, I'll find something else to do. But I don't want to ever be involved with a film where it doesn't live up to these standards, where I'm working with great people, whether it's Harrison and Daniel, or Steven Spielberg and Ron Howard, who I grew up admiring their work, and now I'm getting to learn directly from them. That's a very unusual and satisfying, set of circumstances.
They're here.
Should we step in?
Looks like he's doing fine.
God damn.